Have you ever seen It's a Wonderful Life?
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, it's a famous Christmas movie. It's Capra. Brilliant. It's like every Christmas.
Is it black and white?
Yes.
I think my mom likes it.
Oh my God. Well, in the Goodin family, we have a tradition. Christmas Eve, we watch Die Hard. Christmas Day, we watch It's a Wonderful Life. The two best Christmas movies of all time. Anyway, the point is, the movie It's a Wonderful Life has these guys who are like friends since childhood, and every time they see each other, they go, hee-haw! That's like a running thing throughout the movie. They make this hee-haw sound.
I didn't like that.
I don't like it either, but every time I hear Mayhaw, that's what I think of in my head. It's like, Mayhaw! Mayhaw! I don't know.
I didn't. Was that your Mayhaw joke?
Yeah, that's all I got. Hello everyone and welcome to the Johnny Appleseed Organic Village. I'm here today with our farm manager Joshua Andersen, and the topic of today's video is these trees beside us called mayhaws. Now this is a pretty regional kind of niche crop, so if you don't know about them, we're going to do a quick introduction to what they are, why we grow them, and then later in this video we'll show you how we use their fruit to make some really awesome jelly. Before we do that, I'm going to turn it over to Josh to talk about the plants themselves and how we raise them.
Alright, so mayhaws are a very specific tree that grow in like wetlands, next to rivers, next to lakes. I've actually seen in certain videos people have them on like man-made ponds that they can fill when they want to, generally around the time that these fruit, and then when they fruit they drop in the water and they'll pick the fruit up with like a boat, which seems pretty cool to me. They're a spiky tree, so they have these thorns that'll get you when you're pruning them, and they produce little fruit like about that big, and it's a sour fruit. It's a quite tart fruit, and it's red. They could be orange, and everywhere in between red and orange. So one of the things that I find really fun about mayhaws is it's still a super young crop. There's probably less than 300 or 400 acres planted in total. In a grove type situation. So the amount of information out there's not a lot of it. So there's a lot of experimentation that can be done, especially on making a smaller, more compact, more applicable to a commercially grown situation, which I find fun.
That's very interesting. If you want to be a mayhaw innovator, it sounds like the space is open.
It's a niche that needs to be filled.
The Tesla of mayhaws, you might say.
Oh yeah.
Mayhaw! All right, now that we know what a mayhaw is and how to grow one, we're going to head into the kitchen where Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds horticulturist Shannie McCabe is going to show us how to make some awesome jelly.
Okay, we're making mayhaw jelly, and our ingredients list will include about a gallon of mayhaws. Ours were picked earlier in the season. We froze them whole. I just pulled them out, rinsed them, pulled off their stems, and got them clean. Then we have pure Florida cane syrup. This was grown actually just down the road from this farm, and it's in syrup form, but you can also use granulated sugar if you prefer. We are gonna need some water, just enough to cover the berries by about 1 inch, and we've got some fruit pectin, and that's really all it takes to make this jelly. So first thing, we got our Instapot. Now you don't need to make this in an Instapot. If you have a deep saucepan on your stovetop, that'll work just fine. So I'm going to pour the berries into the Instant Pot. Then I'm going to add enough water to cover the berry mixture by 1 inch. Now they kind of float, so you're gonna have to push them down, make sure. There we go, they're covered. Now we're going to set it to pressure cook. And it's only gonna take about 5 minutes on pressure cook, and we're gonna let it get going. So we let this cool to where I can handle it, and we're just gonna strain off the water first. So that it's just berries. You can save that excess water and drink it like tea. So I've got my strained berries, I'm going to dump them in the bowl, then I'm going to mash them to separate them from the pits. Okay, next step, we're going to take a cheesecloth. Alternatively, you can use a nut bag, or if you have even just a strainer, that will work. But we're going to separate the seeds from the pulp. We're just going to squeeze it through like so. And the only thing you should have left over is just some seeds left inside, and you'll discard those or compost them, whatever you want. So we're going to add our Florida cane syrup. This is a taste preference, so add as much as you like to offset the tart flavor, so taste it as you go. Then you're going to add 1 package of vegetable fruit pectin. Then we're going to hit saute. We're going to saute it and test it until it starts thickening up. See that it kind of clumps on the spoon? That means it's ready.
All right, well, thank you guys for joining us for this video about mayhaws themselves and also about how to make their jelly. If you enjoyed what you learned today, please like, follow, subscribe, etc. Johnny Appleseed Organic on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And check back next time for more similar content.